Here you go, baby. Dinner time.
Your floor number, please.
McCoy, LPD.
Just a minute.
Where do I go?
Grab test on the east wing, 66th floor. Here's the footage from the security cameras. You get a pretty good look at the man's face.
How'd he get past you guys?
He pretended to be a delivery man. Dr. Eisenduller ordered in a lot, so it didn't seem unusual.
I may have more questions for you later on.
Yes, sir.
Someone had tried to access a bunch of protected files on the Tyrell network and failed, not just once, but a dozen times. Tyrell engineers might forget their passwords, but what would the GravLab boys need with replicant DNA sequences and incept dates? It was a Tyrell sales brochure for the Nexus series, the kind of glossy hype that ends up littering the floor at trade shows. This one was for last year's infamous Lolita model, a big hit with the all-important dirty old man market. The earring was shaped like an insect. I didn't know much about jewelry, but it looked like junk to me, like the cheap crap sold at the stands and shops of Anemoid Row. Jesus.
I seen worse, but not by much.
Learn anything?
You could strain him through a sieve.
Obviously, he'd been killed with an explosive, and not just because he'd been plastered on the wall with 1,000 strokes. The detonator wire I pulled out of his skull told the whole story. The killer was an expert. The charge had been big enough to do the job, but not big enough to shatter the soundproof walls of the float chamber. But I wondered why the killer didn't just shoot him. I'd seen more dead animals than live ones in the last 24 hours, and now it was dogs. 3 of them. I thought about Maggie and nearly threw up. A takeout box from Kingston Kitchens. The dog collar has a name on it. Ricky, maybe? I'd seen more dead animals than live ones in the last 24 hours, and now it was dogs. 3 of them. I thought about Maggie and nearly threw up. This earring yours?
Maybe it belonged to that other cop who was up here, the babe with the shades and the cigarettes.
Ain't her style. Call her babe to her face, you're liable to end up with a severe limp. If you spot anything you think I ought to know about, tell me.
Absolutely.
Eisenduller had used his dog's name as a password. The Tyrell brass wouldn't be too happy if they knew I was snagging a copy of their files, but someone had wanted them bad enough to kill Eisenduller, so I figured they must be worth having.
Lagging behind again?
Gouza didn't say anything about me working with a partner.
Oh, in a pig's ass, Slim. No, I'm following up on my own. Could be it's linked to this Tyrell debacle.
How's yours connected to mine?
I'm still fitting the pieces together. You know the moon bus massacre that went down last month?
Gaff mentioned something about it.
The rogue skin jobs probably flew to Earth. And one of them is a demolitions expert, similar MO to your Vic upstairs.
Hell of a coincidence.
I'll call you if I find out anything more about your case.
You friendly with Eisendeller?
Most of the employees I see coming in morning and night, but old Marcus, Dr. Eisendeller, he almost never left his lab.
He afraid of somebody?
I think it had something to do with the air outside, and the germs. I once heard him complain about it.
Smart. What was his job?
Grav Test Chief Engineer. The lab runs tests to see how a replicant would perform in different planetary gravitational fields. That kind of thing. One of the other engineers could tell you more.
How do I get in to see the big boss?
You don't, unless he wants to see you.
Okay. How do I make him want to see me?
Well, you could call his personal assistant.
Who is?
Don't know offhand.
Yeah, I get the picture. You know anything about Tyrell's computer system?
Security's tight as a drum, if that's what you're asking.
Somebody tried to access restricted data from the terminal in Dr. Eisendeller's office.
But they couldn't get in.
Yeah. Looks like Dr. Tyrell keeps his files safer than he keeps his employees. You know if anyone lost an earring like this one lately?
Not one of the employees, that's for sure. The boss enforces a strict dress code around here.
How did Eisendeller's moo-moo fit in?
Hey, you know, company rules only apply to the lesser mortals.
I may have more questions for you later on.
Yes, sir.
Mainframe and shooting range.
During his last election campaign, Governor Kolvig promised a bold new plan of action to clean up the worst regions of the highly toxic debris that surrounds our city, the so-called kipple. Just how much progress has been made since then? We spoke to the governor just before his weekly meeting with the city council.
Uploading personal clue database. Downloading mainframe clue database. Clue database transfer complete. Scanning video disk. One enhanceable image found. Adding enhanceable photographs to Kaya database. Tyrell Grav Test Lab.
The earring was shaped like an insect. I didn't know much about jewelry, but it looked like junk to me, like the cheap crap sold at the stands and shops of Animoid Row. Give me a hard copy of that. A bomb. Give me a hard copy of that. The dog collar has a name on it. Ricky, maybe? Give me a hard copy of that.
This is Crystal Steel badge number BR61354, conducting the interrogation of Spencer Gregorian, leader of CARS, Citizens Against Replicant Slavery, November 22nd, 2019.
I once again asked that my attorney...
Shut it, shitbird. I'm asking the questions. We've already put you on the machine, so we know you're not a skin job.
That term offends me.
Okay, so you're not one of those biomechanical scumbags. And you claim to not know anything about the bombing at Tyrell.
The goons over at the Tyrell building wouldn't let me talk to their boss. Maybe you can set up a meeting.
Anyone else in that whole company who knows anything?
You and I both know it's a one-man show over there.
I'll give it a try, kid. I'll have to pull some strings, so don't go in there half-assed. Make sure you got some legit questions for the resident genius.
Appreciate it, Lieutenant.
Are they letting me out?
I'm not the one who makes that decision.
I suppose it's my turn to bear the cross for the cause.
You're Spencer Gregorian, right?
No. I really think my lawyer should be here.
I got some more questions for you. Lot of people involved in your cause, Spencer?
Yes, sir, we're growing fast. As more and more people realize that replicants have cognitive and emotional legitimacy, the Citizens Against Replicant Slavery will spearhead the movement towards...
Save the pitch for someone who gives a shit.
We're peaceful people, Detective. We live by a code that men like you could never understand.
Try me.
2 centuries ago, humans were held in slavery. Brave souls formed an underground railroad.
So, you help replicants escape the city.
I'm talking figuratively, Detective.
Sure you are.
We're not children, Detective. We have resources. The world is changing. People are waking up to the injustices perpetrated by a sick society that you have helped...
A lot of them will wake up dead if reps are allowed to run amok on Terra, jerk. I got some more questions for you. Tell me about your protest at Tyrell's plant.
I already told that other detective everything. Under duress.
I want to know about the people who were there. The Rastafarian and the Asian guy with the sunglasses.
I don't know them.
Were they together?
They seemed to be. I saw them talking.
Before or after the explosion?
Before. I didn't see them at all after. That's all I know, I swear. I wouldn't even know where to find explosives. I'm not a violent man.
Of course you aren't. You just want to let replicants walk the streets.
They're not killers, Detective. They're innocents. They just want to live a decent, productive life like you or me.
It's that simple, huh? I'm gonna give you a little test.
The other detective. She already tested me earlier today.
Uh-huh. Look, I gotta check out the equipment, and you're the only stiff around.
I object to this treatment. If you'll just call my lawyer, he'll take care...
Your lawyer would tell you I got the authority to VK the mayor if I want. And he'd have to smile and nod and kiss my butt until I cleared him. So sit down. Reaction time is a factor in this, so please pay attention. Where do you live?
3rd sector, uptown.
Nice neighborhood?
Very. Is this going to take long?
Just keep your pants on, Spencer. What do you do for a living?
I teach political science.
What's your name?
Spencer Gregorian. I really think my lawyer should be here.
Just keep your pants on, Spencer. For your anniversary, your spouse gives you a real goldfish.
I donated to a family that couldn't afford an animal.
You suddenly feel the urge to commit suicide.
I love life too much to commit suicide. You wouldn't know about that, would you?
You're having dinner at a friend's home. Halfway through the appetizer, he tells you that you've been eating goose liver pâté.
I wouldn't eat it, and I confront him.
You rent a mountain cabin. On the walls, someone has hung old maps and Currier and Ives prints. A deer's head is mounted above the fireplace. A full stag with developed horns.
I'd leave.
Using the first words that come into your mind, describe your childhood.
Safe. Protected. Loved.
What do you think it's like to be a replicant?
Horrible. Frightening.
Why?
They're hunted creatures. Anyone can gun them down without consequence. I'd say that's frightening, wouldn't you?
You notice someone attractive across the room.
If I thought the attraction was mutual, I would ask her out for coffee or lunch.
A teacher calls you stupid in front of the rest of the class.
I try to do better next time.
Out of the corner of your eye, you see a large black spider crawling up the wall.
I'd call animal services, of course. I wouldn't try to move it myself, not without proper equipment.
You've been kidnapped. Your captors tell you that you'd better think about what you did to deserve this.
I try to reason with them.
Test terminated.
You keeping busy, pal?
Please leave me alone. My migraine's acting up.
Beautiful, isn't it?
The owl or the view?
Both.
The view's amazing. The owl, well, artificial things never did that much for me.
It's a flawless replica. We used a real one as a model.
Owls are extinct. Who told you the model was real?
Dr. Terrell?
He's wrong, or lying. Check your Sydneys.
Eldon wouldn't make up something like that.
You're Tyrell's assistant?
Yes, I'm Rachel. Dr. Terrell is very busy. I'm fully familiar with all Terrell operations.
He does know I'm a cop, right? Blade Runner unit?
Dr. Terrell has already met with one Blade Runner today and has important business to attend to. Your department should coordinate its efforts better.
Yeah, but...
You may speak to me or you may leave. I can't offer you any other choices.
Fair enough. I wanted to ask about Marcus Eisenduller.
I can't tell you who killed him if that's what you're asking.
We've already got a suspect. What I want to know is why the killer would be interested in replicant DNA information.
That's a stupid question.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Your suspect is obviously a replicant, a very dangerous one.
I thought replicants were safe, more human than human. Isn't Dr. Tyrell pushing to make it legal to use rep labor to clean up the kipple?
Are we here to discuss corporate policy or Marcus Eisenduller's murder?
A little of both. You heard about the moon bus hijacking? Yeah, I guess you would have. 50 people dead.
You can't blame...
I'm surprised you aren't out doing spin control. The public gets nervous when your pets wander around the city without a leash.
Replicants aren't pets.
Right. Pets live longer and don't go around killing people.
There are safeguards in the design.
Yeah, I've seen the data. Implanted memories, a 4-year lifespan. I'd probably get a little crazy too, but I don't think I'd start killing people.
Wouldn't you?
As I explained to Mr. Deckard earlier, I've given the Nexus 6 model a past. I've given it the purity and innocence of childhood. And all the joy and despair that comes with a real existence. That's hardly a death sentence. That's life.
I thought you weren't meeting with any more Blade Runners today.
Well, I decided to make an exception. Mr. McCoy, isn't it? You do understand the need for the Nexus 6 to have an identity.
Not really. No. I do see why a replicant who has an identity would want to steal Eisenduller's files.
Please, enlighten me.
They want more life.
They're wasting their time.
They're gonna come for you, just like they came for Eisenduller.
I have nothing to fear from any of my children. I'd tell them all exactly what I told you. Have I given you what you came here for?
I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe.
Then if you'll excuse me, I have a stockholder meeting to attend.
You know who deals in insects down here?
You don't want insects? They're no good companion. But fish. Fish are good. I have every kind of fish for you. Blowfish, dorado, miniature sailfish. Very friendly.
No thanks. I got a dog at home.
Fish just as good as dog.
No, my dog is real.
Real? Oh, you must make lots of money.
Let's get back to insects. Official LPD business.
Down at end of Animal Row, you see big green sign? You try there. Good luck with dog, friend. Hope he stays healthy.
She. This your work?
Ah, the dragon.
Dragon?
See? Anosoptera. Dragonfly late of the American South Swampland.
You sell jewelry with dragonflies?
Item like that, very special significance. Very rare, senor. estate item, and most likely part of large collection. Person must have plenty money to obtain a collection.
More than I can afford.
You try Hawker's Circle. Might want to trade for this. With luck, you may find.
If this is from a collection, I'm also looking for the other pieces.
I make you a deal. I found out where to get dragonfly jewelry. Then, you buy a piece, right? For special lady friend? You come back later.
I'll do that.
You take care, chasing the dragon. Handsome man like you has lady friend, of course.
All my girl cares about is food and love.
Oh, how romantic. What is this girl's name?
Maggie.
Maggie. Ah, Maggie, senor. It's perfect, is it not?
It's kind of ugly, but you tugged me into it.
Might I interest you in a snake, noble one?
Not today, thanks. You know anything about insects?
I regret that I do not, noble one, save that I feed them to my snakes.
You do what?
Artificial ones, of course. The safeguards in the design of my snakes would not allow them to swallow a real insect.
I assume that this insect is already extinct.
They all died after the war, yes.
So the fakes must be pretty expensive.
If bought in bulk, the price is acceptable. They do not need to eat them, of course, but the added realism is worth every penny. Have you ever seen such craftsmanship?
Right now I'm more interested in the insect.
Perhaps you should ask the Peruvian woman next door. She's an expert on such things and will cut a wonderful deal to friends.
I need to ask you...
Certainly the LPD must have better things to do than to question a humble merchant over and over again about the same things. Why aren't you out arresting criminals like that disreputable Bob fellow?
Bob?
He owns the armament shop up the street. He's insane, noble one, insane. He takes peculiar pleasure in agitating all the vendors around here. I cannot even go out for a Shisco without worrying whether Bob is going to sabotage my snakes.
That a .45 blaster under your coat, or you just happy to be here?
You got good eyes.
They ought to be. They're the only organs of mine that survived the Phobos Wars intact.
Ray McCoy, Rep Detect.
Blade Runner, huh? How come I never heard of you?
I just got assigned.
Yeah, I'm kind of buddies with Davy Holden. How's he doing?
Word is he's gonna be okay.
That skin job must have been pretty damn quick getting by Davy like that. He's the best in the business.
He'll be back on the job soon. You got any decent ammo for my piece?
You mean the good stuff? 'Cause I know them police issue spitballs just don't cut it.
Not these days.
Yeah, I know how it is. If you want to drop a skin job, you need a little extra oomph. I got a few clips around here somewhere, if you got the chin yen for it.
Okay, let's have it. I hear you've been waving guns around on Anemoid Row.
Who's been telling you that crap? That lying Egyptian snake oil salesman?
Hassan?
That's the one. I should have popped him when I had the chance. You want to know what really happened? I wanted to get my daughter a present for her birthday, right? I bought an iguana from that crook Hassan. And the damn thing ran out of juice just 2 days after I plucked down a shitload of chin yen. Son of a bitch wouldn't give me a refund. So I threatened to burn down his shop.
Sometimes you just gotta be philosophical about these things.
That's exactly what my wife says. I heard of you.
Is that right?
You ain't done much.
I just got assigned.
Guys like you get hurt real easy.
Meaning what, exactly?
It ain't like you're a real Blade Runner. Not like Steel or Gaff.
They get hurt sometimes, too. It's a dangerous business. How'd you feel about taking a little test?
You mean the Voight Kampf? You come into my shop and you want to VK me?
Relax, I just...
It's funny. You thinking I'm a rep. Set up the test. We'll see what's what around here.
Reaction time is a factor in this, so please pay attention. Where do you live?
Downtown, 4th sector. Hey, this is great. Should I be sitting any special way?
Just relax. Are you taking any drugs?
Hey, I get tested every week.
In a magazine, you come across a full-page photo of a nude girl.
I'm gonna like this one.
The girl is lying on a bearskin rug.
Oh man, why'd you have to ruin it? I guess I'm gonna have to rip up the magazine.
Like my briefcase? Department issue. Baby hide. 100% genuine human baby hide.
That's supposed to scare me?
Not scare, just shock. Provoke a reaction.
I heard worse in the wars. Hell, I done worse.
Using the first words that come into your mind, describe your childhood.
Peaceful.
Really?
Sure, once I took the axe to my ma. Joke, that's a joke. Boy, you should have seen your face.
What's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you?
I don't know. I busted up a guy's face once. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I meant to kill him, so that was kind of embarrassing.
You've been kidnapped. Your captors tell you that you'd better think about what you did to deserve this.
No, they'd better think about what they did to deserve it. 'Cause they'll slip, and I'll be ready.
You're crying. Why is that?
What kind of candy-ass question is that?
It's meant to provoke a reaction.
Reaction, huh? Well, I ain't crying. Next question.
A teacher calls you stupid in front of the rest of the class.
Yeah, I remember that. Bitch.
You're at a restaurant with friends. One of them orders lobster. The chef drops the lobster into the tub of boiling water while you watch.
I kicked the crap out of the sicko.
Positive result. Subject is human. Test terminated.
So that's it?
Yeah?
Since you didn't shoot me, I must have registered okay.
Yeah, it was touch and go there for a while.
Well, you know, I think about skin jobs all the time. Try to get into their heads. Maybe that's what the deal is.
Thanks for your time.
Step up, step up. Mama Isabella cooked you something special. Put a glow in your cheek.
McCoy, LPD. Mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Questions, they always need answers.
This guy work for you?
No, but I wish he do. He be one fine-looking man.
You sure? Never seen him before.
I'd remembered him for sure.
You send a lot of deliveries over to Marcus Eisendaler at the Tyrell building?
Eisendaler. Oh, Eisendaler, yeah. Let me tell you, that man can't eat.
Send anything over lately?
No, sir. No deliveries to him no more. Not since last month. He be way behind on his bill.
Not for a month, eh?
At least. No more till him pay up.
You may have a little trouble collecting. He's dead. That stew's looking tasty.
Fix you right up. Only dirty chinion. It put a spring in your step, man. The ladies, they be loving you.
Thanks for your time. I got a couple of questions for you, Captain.
First one's on the house. The rest you pay for. You want chit-chat, you hire a hooker. This ain't no social club. Nice bracelet, tough guy. Who's Maggie, your mommy?
She's a dog.
So is my wife, but I sure as hell don't brag about it.
Pour me one.
Just one?
One, but one good one. Pour me one.
Just one?
One, but one good one.
Your floor number, please.
McCoy, 88F.
88. Thank you.
Here you go, baby. Dinner time. Who's the best dog in the whole world?
Violent street crime in the city rose again last year by a whopping 26%, according to the latest figures from the Department of Justice. Governor Kolvig attributed the change to the dramatic increase in the number of specials registered as city residents and promised a tough new set of standards for the City Immigration Bureau by next month.
Portrait of the sleep-deprived.